Hello to booktubers, YouTubers, and the world. I'm Kylie. Welcome to my channel. And this video is going to be a video blog of my reading of Scythe by Neil Shusterman. And just a little intro for anyone who is not interested in the video blog part. The last 29 minutes of this video is going to be the actual review and my overall thoughts on characters, plot, and big theme elements. So if you want to skip the video stuff, go until there's only about 28 and a half minutes left, and you'll be able to get to the good stuff, I suppose. Alright, hope you enjoy it. I have just read the first 3 chapters, and it's mostly just character development and like basically what it tells you on the back of the book. But it's like it's developing the world, and I am just so intrigued. I love it. So it's talking about, basically this is a world where, I wonder when this book was published, because in the book, when they're talking about like the past, like I don't know what year they're living in. Actually, I think they don't keep track of years anymore. They said in the year 2042 is when society had developed, and just they at that point in 2042, we know everything that there is to know about the entire universe, about science, about everything, and nobody like dies, like there's no disease, everything's cured. Basically, it's a fairly perfect world. And like no one is dying of natural causes anymore. And so that's why there's these people that are called like Scythes, because the world just can't sustain itself if people don't die. So the Scythes' jobs are to basically randomly choose people and kill them. So sounds pretty dark. But it doesn't seem like dark yet. I don't know. It seems like it's just really super interesting. It kind of seems like that people's only fear really is these Scythe people. Like, there's no crime that what I can see, like murder, violence, like none of that is in this world. The only thing people are scared of is these Scythes, and they're not really like scared of them, but it's just like upsetting because when the one shows up at your door, you lose a family member. So this is like really cool. I'm pretty excited about it, and actually gonna keep reading. This is gonna be a pretty fast read for me. It's only got about 400 and why is there not page numbers? Maybe that's, oh, these are extension activities. That's why. Oh, Lord. 427. Having trouble here because of my choice to not stand my phone up. I am only with one hand. Okay, 433 pages, and I'm actually going on a little trip. So tomorrow I have a 3-hour plane ride, and then an hour and a half layover, and then another hour plane ride. And then a few days after that, the same thing. So I'm expecting that I'll be done this by the end of that trip. So it's going to be a pretty quick video blog. I'm not sure I'm going to be recording video blogs in the airport, but you never know how bored I get. Maybe in the airplane, not. I don't know. Could have strangers like popping in behind me. weird. Okay, so we'll see what happens, but I'm excited. This looks really good. The reason I picked this book to read was because I just joined Book Roast's, I think she calls it Book in a Jar, excuse me, Book in a Jar, it's a book club that she has in her groups on Goodreads. And Scythe was their May book, and I found that out, and I decided I want to read it, but by the time I got it shipped to me, oh, whatever, it's June, so, but I haven't seen any updates to find out what they're reading for June now, so I'm guessing kind of waiting for that, so that I can do that and participate in their discussions and things. But I'm really excited about this one, so I'm just going to keep reading now, and maybe I'll make another update before I go to bed. Okay, thanks, bye. Hello, so I am on my trip, just like I said, and this is video blogging my reading of Scythe. I read through, the first plane ride was like too early in the morning and I couldn't read, so I just slept. But after that I read, and I'm on about to start chapter 14. As it's getting really interesting. It's not as much like gore and violence as I thought that it was going to be, with these Scythes and Scythe apprentices like needing to be killing or like gleaning people. It's really interesting. It's just mostly the training of the apprentices and like the teaching of the lessons and having them look at it from different perspectives, and they have to learn about all the weapons and all the different poisons and all the different like ways you can kill people, but then also like have ethics about it, and like there's rules that they had to follow. And I think like right now in the book I'm at where they've gone to like a big, I forget what they called it, but it's like a big like congregation of like all the Scythes that live in the area, and they talk about political like problems and like things that they need to talk about, and like they discipline certain Scythes for not being impartial and not killing like at random kind of things. And the two apprentices are going to have some sort of a test done, and yes, still really liking it. Really interested to see where it's gonna go, and so I'm just gonna keep reading, and I'll check in with you this evening maybe, or tomorrow. Okay. Hello. It is 10 o'clock in the evening, and I have just finished reading chapter 20 of the Scythe. I have to go to bed because I'm very tired, but I have to give this book props because I usually am very good at predicting where a book is going, but during this last section that I read, there was a plot twist that I did not see coming. First of all, the apprentices didn't do well on their test that they had, and they were both in trouble, and then the book was kind of hinting that something was going to happen at the conclave in regards to how the Scythe had chosen 2 apprentices instead of 1, which is not normally done. So there was some foreshadowing with that, because I saw that I felt like something was going to happen there, and something did. Of course, he was challenged, and someone suggested that whichever apprentice was better at the end and was chosen to be a Scythe had to glean the other one, or otherwise kill them in the end. And so that was a twist, but I was expecting that. And the trainer, Scythe, like the one who's training them, his response to that was to commit suicide the next day, which totally threw me off. I was not expecting that. And so now the 2 apprentices have been taken on by other Scythes to train them, separate ones. And the boy has been taken by, there's this group of, like, Scythes that are not doing things how they're supposed to be. And I feel like something's going to happen with that, like they're going to get caught. I don't know why that they haven't, or there's going to be some sort of a big showdown. I feel like, because there's like 4 of them, and they do things like glean entire airplanes or entire cafeterias. It seems to me that they really enjoy it, and they're not supposed to. Like, people who enjoy killing people are not supposed to end up being Scythe, so I don't know how they all, like, got through their training, or whatever. Mistakes were made. But I'm really enjoying this book. It's, not violent and gory like I thought. There is killing, but it's not, like, gruesome, like, I feel. So, yeah, no, I like the story, and I'm excited to see where it's going. And actually, I noticed that on the back of the book, it says Arc of a Scythe, Book 1. So it's going to be a series or a trilogy or something. There's going to be a book 2, I feel. Or maybe there already is, because this is copyright 2016. Oops. Well, on that note, I'm going to bed. Hello. I have just gotten home from my trip to Ottawa. It is midnight, but Ottawa is 2 hours ahead, so I feel like it's 2 in the morning. So I'm tired. I did what I said I was gonna do, and I finished Scythe. I'm actually not. We needed to get off the plane, and I was on the last page. So I have like half a page to read. This book was really good. I liked it. Sorry for this, I'm doing it selfie mode. Had another, plot twist that I wasn't expecting. I expected something from, I told you before that in the last little blog video, I told you that I expected something to happen to Scythe Goddard and his band of idiots. But I thought it was going to be more like a group effort of like getting rid of them. I didn't expect it to be Rowan completely on his own. So that was really cool, and I knew definitely that neither of Citra or Rowan were going to be gleaning the other at the end of their training, but I didn't guess at how that was going to end up. So I'm going to go to bed now, and I'm going to do a more formal review to throw at the end of this video blog tomorrow. See you then. Hi everybody. Okay, so I have been reading this week. I have been reading Scythe by Neil Shusterman. You'll have noticed that I am pronouncing it properly now. Kind of felt a little bit dumb there when I watched someone else's video blog about it, and I was like, oh, don't pronounce the C. Okay. Yeah, I learn some new things every day. Okay, so I'm gonna do a review of it now. I don't have like a formal, I don't have anything that I'm following. I think I'm just gonna go start with characters and then talk about the plot a little bit and then move on to themes and ideas and what I thought of them. Okay, so the two main characters, see, I'm so bad with names, oh my god, Citra and Rowan. I like these characters, but this is a classic, like, teenagers having to do things that are, like, beyond the capabilities of just, like, a regular adult. So, it's just interesting, but I guess with young adult, they always choose the age to be teenagers or late teens anyways. So I liked Citra, but I felt that Rowan had so much more challenges, obviously, and I liked that he just, like, deep inside of himself just tried to hold on to, like, who he was and not, like, lose that. And I thought that it was the most awesome of all, that because instead of actually turning into one of the bad Scythes, sorry, this glare on my glasses, see that? What the heck is that coming from? There's no TV in this room. It's reflecting off of something. So maybe I'll just take these off. It's like Superman. I'm a totally different person now. Alright. Okay. No superpowers, just nearsightedness. So anyways, so yes, I thought that was just so, like, powerful that he just held on to what he was and ended up actually hating what they were with such a passion and how they made him feel when he was training under them, that he saved the world from them, basically. And I did not expect that to happen. I did not expect him to single-handedly take down the evil, the whole evil group that was, like, in the book. I did feel like that something was going to happen and they were going to get reprimanded in some way or stopped somehow, but I thought it was going to be more of a group effort between a lot of the other Scythes and Citra and Scythe Curie. So I liked Citra as well. She didn't have as much challenges. I didn't see as much change in her as I did with Rowan. It was, like, so super obvious. And I did feel that I was really interested in a lot of the other Scythes and their backgrounds and their stories, like Curie and Faraday, and even, like, any of the other ones, because they're so old. Like, I think Faraday, at the beginning of the book, the first few chapters, he told Citra's brother Ben that he was, or was it a diary entry? I can't remember, that he was between 160 and 180. And so there's just so much history along with that. Like, how, you know, I get, and then in Curie's memories, she was 17 and he was 22, and he was already a Scythe, so he's been a Scythe, like, his entire adult life, I guess, as would Citra and Rowan, or Rowan, had he have been given a ring. But I'm just so interested, and I hope, like, in the next books we delve deeper into some of the older Scythes, and some of their histories. Okay, so those are the main characters, and what I thought of them. I like them all. I didn't dislike anyone except for the obvious Goddard. I really hated him, and I can't remember the other one that used the flamethrower all the time. Like, what is that? Yeah, I didn't like him either. And I felt just kind of pity for, what's he called, Zini. Started with an X. The one that was, like, the big important one, who had an illegitimate daughter. I just felt pity for him. It's like he was just being used as a pawn. But I was so glad that that's how the story ended up, that Rowan stopped it all. So I didn't really like where it was going. I didn't want to see him end up being like a junior Scythe with one of them. Okay, for plot, I give this plot as like A+. There is not a lot of books that I have read where I have been surprised by a plot twist more than once. So Scythe Faraday gleaning himself or killing himself completely I did not expect that even a little bit. And then what happened with Rowan, did not expect that either, that it would have been him taking it down single-handedly. I talked about that already. Was immediately expecting something to happen when Rowan told Goddard what Citra's ideas were. Immediately knew that he shouldn't have done that, that was a bad idea. But then Scythe Faraday being still alive also did not expect that. So this author was really good for me, keeping me on the edge of my seat, like doing things that were unexpected. Okay, so some of the themes then. I got about the thunder. This is the Thunderhead. So it's called Thunderhead or Thundercloud, which controls everything and stores all of the information, and just that they use it instead of a government to make decisions and things. They just take the whole morality right out of it. And they say, like, the Thunderhead will know. It will be able to calculate the best outcome, just the best way to do things that will be in everyone's favor. I'm just a little confused in society why there is so little crime still. If there's still, because I feel like inequality, like among, like just in general, is a big part of crime. And I understand that people are still like socially trying to climb the ladder, and they're still trying to like gain wealth and everything, but it just felt like it's not, like, it wouldn't be that as perfect as it seemed, because I feel like you'd still have, even though that the inequality was less, like the people on the bottom weren't in poverty like they are in the real world now. They would probably be considered like lower or middle class, lower class, whatever. And then you have like higher up people, but not that much higher up. like still living like fairly extravagant lives, but I feel like the people in like the middle to lower class are still like, you know, born into that and would still want, or lots of them would anyways, the things that the upper class has. And like, why, I don't know. See where I'm saying with this? I feel like I can't be the only one that thinks that it's a little bit unrealistic. Also, I think it said in the book it was the year 2042 when they knew everything. And like this book was published in 2016. I don't know, maybe he just like pulled a year out of thin air, but that's only like 20 years away. So I think if that ever did happen, where technology advanced so much that like we don't need doctors really, like, because we have genetically altered our DNA to heal. We don't need like just the lack of jobs because we just know everything. Like no one dies, everyone's immortal. Like I don't know that I think that would ever happen. And but even if it did, it wouldn't be like in 20 years. Like I think like it would be like a couple of centuries more, maybe. That was a bit of a stretch. The year 2042, the world knows everything that it can know, and all that information is in the cloud, and then we just like, we just get rid of all the governments. There's no wars anymore. Because we don't have to worry about trade because the Thunderhead oversees it all. I mean, a pretty cool idea. I am socialist in my beliefs, so that's like the ideal, of course, right? Like there's just world peace, everyone just exists together in harmony. We just share what we don't need, we only take what we need, everyone's kind of on a level playing field. I like that they still go to school. That's pretty, like, I like that. Like, you live forever, and there's not really a big selection of jobs anymore because a lot of jobs are obsolete now because of the Thunderhead just knowing everything. So you don't go to school with because you need to. Obviously right now it's like you have to go to school. The government makes you go to school until you're like 16 at least, but at least there's like a goal with it, or like you continue your education like so that you can have a job, so that you can make money and you don't end up like being poor your whole life or living on the street, or I don't know, whatever your aspirations are, you aspire to be like successful and stuff. And I feel like that a lot of that motivation is gone, but they still go to school and keep going to school and keep growing and learning until they're like hundreds of years old. Pretty cool that they can turn the corner, as they say, and grow to be younger. Yeah, I thought that was it's a really well thought out world, and I don't have like a lot of problems with it. I think it would be cool to live there for a while. Just check it out. Can you imagine like not having to be afraid of anything? Like even if you're like scared of heights, like why? If you fall, because that's not, people aren't scared of heights. People are scared of falling. People aren't so much scared of spiders and snakes. They're scared of getting bitten because of what happens when you get bitten, right? Like people are scared of things because those things could injure them, could kill them, whatever. But if you just get healed, then you're not like, there's nothing to be scared of like in your whole life. Like what would that even feel like? That's crazy. Okay, so then some other themes, of course, are to do with death and killing and just like obligation and like compassion. So obviously the whole thing of the book is that, you know, they've come to a point, people don't die anymore. But like we can't just keep living like this if we're going to keep having kids, because then we're eventually going to run out of space, right? So we need people to die. Okay, so this is where like, oh, I'm just gonna switch positions here. I like a little bit have a problem with why it's people doing this. Why, like the Thunderhead or whatever takes care of everything else. Why not this too? Why couldn't, I mean, maybe people would fight back or like run away from it or whatever. But then that's where you have your Scythes maybe like enforcing the Thunderhead's decisions. So say like you need to kill, I don't know, like 1 million people every year, or 5 million, or however many millions of people you have to kill every year to keep the population down. So why doesn't the Thunderhead just like pull random names like evenly across all the world? And I mean, I'm sure, you know, it could calculate it or use statistics if it want, like Scythe Faraday did. Like, why couldn't it do that? And then you get a Scythe showing up your door just to like escort you to wherever you go, or just to give you a pill. Like, I don't understand why it has to be like, why you're letting everybody, like, why do they use guns and knives and all this other crap? Like, when you just have the pill that Scythe Faraday used on that woman, where all she had to do was bite it and like no pain, like nothing, and she's just dead in an instant. Like, I don't understand why there's so many different options and everything. Okay, sorry, my husband needed help with something. Okay, so I was saying that I guess I don't, well, I mean, there wouldn't be a book if it wasn't for like this whole Scythedom, but like I said, I don't understand, like, why couldn't the Thunderhead just be in charge of it all? Picking all the names, like, there would be no need to, like, search for the family members of Gleanings, because the Thunderhead just knows everything. So it should just know who all the family members are, and that they won't be randomly selected in the next year or whatever. It seems like it would have been in such a better system, but so I'm not sure why humans had to be in charge of that, but whatever, I guess it happened. So yep, I guess like the other like main themes have to do with like, okay, if you have to do like such a terrible thing, in what way do you do it, and what is the right way and what is the wrong way? And this was like a big theme that of course all the characters struggle with. All of the Scythes, the older ones, have decided what they think about that, about what's the right way and what's the wrong way and such. Okay, as I was saying, I think that all of the old Scythes have obviously decided like where they stand on this matter of right versus wrong, the right way to do things, and, you know, being compassionate, and basically they found a way to live with themselves even though they're committing these like horrible, atrocious acts. And then we get to watch Rowan and Citra grow, and as they watch these other Scythes, learn from them and decide what they believe on their own. And yeah, so there's that. That's the main theme. I obviously think that Scythe, I think Scythe Faraday had like an interesting way of doing things, how he did things based on the statistics. I thought that was really interesting. I mean, they all have to find a way to justify their gleanings to themselves, if not to the other people. This is how he justified it to the other people. He often told them, like, in the age of morality, you know, lots of people died committing heroic acts. That was one of them. Lots of teenagers who drive fast cars and drink a lot, you know, get in accidents, and so that's how he justified it to the people. He took statistics from the age of morality, whereas Scythe Curie, she just looks for people who she feels are ready to die, like they're old, and she just looks for it, and she can see it in their eyes, and she can see it in how they walk. Sorry for this shaky camera. I'm just holding it in my hand because I can't stay comfortable. I like that Scythe Curie doesn't glean children. I find that gleaning children is completely unnecessary, and they shouldn't do that ever. Like, let's just make the age like 21 and older or whatever. Like, there's no, if there's no death and and you're only gleaning to like control population, there should never be a reason to kill a child. So I really liked that she just didn't care that she's supposed to, and she doesn't anyways. Yeah. I don't know. I like basically agree with like the main principles of the book, that, you know, if this is something that you have to do, then obviously it should be people that don't like doing it. Otherwise you get like gross Goddard like people in the world, and you should of course be compassionate and be considerate. And I don't know. So that's the base of my thinking. I think that if they're gonna do it, they shouldn't kill children. They should come up with a way to justify it for themselves and do it so that they can feel okay with it at the end of the day. But I do think that they should get rid of all their stupid weapons and just do like poisons that don't hurt and aren't bloody. Like, I don't understand why, unless someone's gonna fight you. But like, if they fight you, their whole family gets killed. So I just don't see that happening like a super lot. Like take poisons with you everywhere, and then just like, I guess, have a gun in your pocket if someone decides to try to fight you. I feel like that should solve it. You shouldn't have all these like crazy knives and weapons and things like that. But anyways, okay, so I think that's the gist of like my thoughts on most of the themes and things that happen in this book. I should say that it is a very easy read. Oh god, I don't know how many, I should have kept track of how many hours it took me, because it is really easy. It has short chapters, very short chapters, and at the end of each chapter is a little journal entry from their gleaning journals. I don't know if I ever mentioned that they have to keep a journal for every day. They have to keep a journal. They're supposed to write down all the names of the people that they glean and things like that. So at the end of every chapter, which the chapters are only, this one's only like 5 pages, and it's like large font, like easy to read. Then there's like a little journal entry at the end of it. At the end of my book, there was the chapter of the next book, and I want to read it. I really love where they're going with Rowan there. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to say. Oh, I guess, usually when you rate a book, you give it a star rating. So I think I would give this book like 3.5 to 4 stars. There could be a lot more character development, and although I found it interesting and I really liked it, there wasn't anything that really like wowed me about it. This isn't a book that I'm super in love with forever, if you know what I mean. So that's why I wouldn't go up to 4.5 or 5. So yeah, there's my review of Scythe. And maybe one day I'll figure out how to make things look the right way instead of backwards in the camera. Okay, so feel free to tell me what you thought, or whether you disagree or agree with my different views on things in the comments. If you want to see more of my book reviews, click subscribe and click on the little bell notification thingy, and it'll notify you when I post a new video. I think that's all. The next book that I'm going to read is The Magicians by Lev Grossman. I just picked this randomly at the bookstore. So I only know about it, like what's on the back cover. I haven't looked anything up, even though on the front it says #1 New York Times bestselling author of The Magician King and The Magician's Land. It's a trilogy. It says book 1 of the Magician's Trilogy, and it says an original series on Sci-Fi. So it's already a TV show. So obviously a lot of people liked it, but I've never heard of it. George R.R. Martin says The Magicians is to Harry Potter as a shot of Irish whiskey is to a glass of weak tea. Hogwarts was never like this. So this will be interesting. This is my next read, and that's what my next video diary, or video blog and review will be. Okie dokie. Bye bye. Thank you, YouTubers, booktubers, and the world for watching my videos. Have a good day.